I think we're getting started. Oh, good, loud and clear, says Theory. I appreciate. Oh my goodness, welcome, welcome, welcome. I believe I'm going to get started right now. I was told to start right on the top of the quarter, and then we finish about 5 minutes after. How's that sound? We're going to be flexible. I like being flexible as much as possible. Thank you, Ivor. Thank you, Theory. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jonathan. You are all my new favorite fans. I am massively in love with you all. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3-step business building pyramid to build your 6-digit business fast. I love watching the chat. So go ahead. I didn't put a poll in. Maybe I should have put a poll in, but put in the chat. How long have you been in business? You know, what is kind of your dream for your business before the end of December? I would love to hear it from you. Just go ahead and put that in. The reason I created today's presentation was exactly what I had written in one of the chats earlier in the back, the larger stage room. When I started my business back in, let me get this straight. I dabbled a little bit in entrepreneurship back in 2015, 2016. I got pregnant, I had my son, and then I was like, okay, this is it. I am going to start having my own business. I'm going to start to be my own boss. I am going to live the life of queens. I will have a laptop and I will sit on the beach and be a digital nomad like nobody's business. Except the reality was it wasn't. And everything I learned in that first kind of 90 days, which was the school of hard knocks, I want to give to you. So hopefully you don't have to go through the conversation as well. Yeah, sorry, I haven't moved on to anything past the title slide. So my true story was right after my son was born. He was about 4 months old. I was committed to starting my own business. And over the next few months, I kind of dabbled. I got a couple clients. I built a little bit of a business. In all honesty, right what the gentleman from Lowest Rates had said, you know, I wasn't clear who my audience was. I wasn't clear on what my business was. All I wanted to be was an executive coach. I thought if I started with coaching, maybe that would help me out. And the problem with that was it didn't work. Now, I look at this as a good news story, but at the time it was one of the most horrific things that could have happened. My husband came up to me and he said, Kim, I am giving you 90 days. No, sorry, it wasn't 90 days. Oh my goodness, he gave me 30 days. He says, Kim, I am giving you 30 days. I am giving you 30 days to make $10,000 this month, or I need you to go out and get a job. Oh my goodness, you like, I'm just starting my business. Like, it takes companies years to get to that break-even point to finally become profitable. We've heard the fallacy. It takes 2 years to finally become profitable. And I'm not even like a few months in. Like, how are you giving me 30 days? And he goes, you've been doing this for the last 2 months. He's like, and it's great. And I'm glad you're having fun. But the reality is your plan B is what? And I said, well, I would just go out and get myself a sales job. And he's like, exactly. And he goes, and how much would a sales company pay you if they were to hire you right now? And I said, well, you know, I would probably make like, you know, 6 digits type of thing. I'd make like 100,000. And he goes, yeah. He's like, that's the point. Your plan B is better than your plan A right now. And I knew he was right. And then I went ahead and I mourned. I cried all the next day thinking to myself, how am I going to do this? How am I going to go from making $500 every single month to now making $10,000 in less than a month? How am I going to do this? Thankfully, I got really clear, and it was that kick in the ass that I needed to move me to the next step. And this is exactly what we're going to do for you. So this is me today. All right. This is my company was officially started on November 30th, 2017. And in that period of time, this is me. So I'm the one on the left, in case you don't recognize. I am LinkedIn's most influential sales leader to follow. So go check me out on LinkedIn. I am Success Magazine's most inspirational blogger. I am the 3-time author. That is my 3rd book, Sell More Faster. And I am Startup Canada's Female Entrepreneur of the Year. My company is KO Advantage Group. And really, what do? We just give you, as entrepreneurs, relief and empowerment, knowing what you're going to close, when you're going to close, that you're going to close it for the most amount of money, and that you're like, yeah, I'm in control of my business. Now, unfortunately, we don't work with everybody. We specialize in business to business, high value services. Because if you know how to sell the invisible, it's a lot easier to sell the intangible. So how did we do it? So the first thing I have to, before I tell you how I did it, I have to tell you what I was doing wrong, because everything I was doing wrong was wasting my time. And ultimately it was wasting potential clients' times. Because when I first started my business, I followed the advice of people like Marie Forleo, Brendan Burchard, and all these other wonderful marketing gurus, these digital nomads, if you will, who says, the first thing you need to do is get a click magnet. The first thing you need to do is build a great website. The first thing you need to do is build a great logo, and go ahead and spend all your time building these beautiful inspirational quotes, post them on Facebook, and people will just fall over you. You will be attracted to attraction marketing. It was called attraction marketing, just by posting wonderful quotes of your inspiration. And somebody would somehow text me and be like, oh, Kim, that's amazing. I was so inspired by your Florence Nightingale quote that I had to contact you and find out, how can I give you $10,000? That was so inspirational. I was spending all my time, exhausting time, like 60 hours a week on activities that were giving me low dollar or no dollar. And by the end of it, I was so exhausted trying to attract everybody to me that I didn't have time to do the things that I needed to do. I didn't have time to go ahead and actually sell for the premium dollar. I could do it if I was selling American Express or Xerox or Pure Later or any of those other corporate companies I had worked for in the past. So why, as my own business owner, was I struggling to sell for a premium? Why was I struggling to sell something that of value? And maybe some of you are already like, oh my goodness, like you are hitting the nail on the head. Like when you look at your calendar, number one, are you having meetings for meeting's sake? Are you not having any meetings? And yet somehow you're exhausted. Somehow you feel like every day you're spending all your time on everything. And so there's this concept called the minimal viable product, the MVP. Most of us have heard it. If you have taken any type of business school, business class, chances are you've heard the minimal viable product. Now, the reasons why so many people get this wrong is because we look at the minimal viable product as the lowest thing that is going to get us any money. This is what I was doing. I was asking myself, what could I possibly do to get any money? I was in the process of writing a $7 ebook. Do you know how many $7 ebooks you would have to sell to make $10,000? It is a lot. It is a lot. And if you know anything about e-commerce transaction, only 2 to 3% of the clicks will actually convert in that. So not only would I have to sell more than 1,000, ebooks, I don't even know what the number is, 1,300. I would have to have 98% more leads coming to my website to eventually convert to that amount. So MVP is not about the lowest amount that you can sell for anything, but rather the lowest energy, the lowest amount of time you can sell to ultimately get the most amount of products. So where I had to look at changing my pyramid was saying, instead of trying to build the bottom layer and then build up and then build up, I need to look at this as if it is like the Stanley Cup. Let's start with the top and then let's build a ring underneath it and build a ring underneath it. And then as we continue on, we either remove the bottom rings and we continue to build on top of it, or we go ahead and we just say, let's just continue on. I was spending all my energy on the things that were not producing and none of the energy on the things that would have. So what I first did was I asked myself, okay, if I have to make $10,000 in a single month, I can only probably spend about 25% of my time servicing those clients. Because the problem is if you think you can spend 100% of your time servicing your clients, and we'll talk about this in a second here, you're going to ultimately destroy all your time. You're going to leave yourself exhausted. So that magic number is going to be somewhere between 4 and 10. Whatever your goal is for yourself, divide that immediately between 4 to 10. That is the number of clients that you can possibly service in a single month to get you to 100% of your revenue. Now, what you're ultimately going to see is you're going to be like, oh my goodness. If I can only service 10 clients and I need to make $10,000, that means I have to charge every single client $1,000. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And you are a high value service provider, and we will get there and how you will do that in a second here. Now, the other thing you need to look at is as you continue to build your high value service offering, below that, you're going to start to systematize what you're doing as the premium service that you are providing for those top clients. The people below them are going to ask, yes, but what can you do for even less? And this is how we start to scale a business, because this becomes one of two things, or maybe both eventually. It becomes one to few. So now I can service you and maybe 3 others for the same price as what I would service one. Maybe I service you and have one of my employees essentially service you. Right. And that is how we're going to build this. This is your mid dollars, your one to few, and this is either you or someone else. It's you and a few others, or it's you or someone else is ultimately going to serve them for a little bit lower. If they want you, they have to pay for you. And then finally, at the bottom tier, that's where we focus on those one to many. That is your low dollar, no dollar. But only after you have clarified what your top level offering is and work your way down from that, does it make sense to get to your one to many? Because the thing is was psychologically, when people see what your high value offering is, they ask themselves, like, that is amazing. What can you do for even less? And what can you do for even less? The reality is nobody's going to buy your $7 ebook and ask themselves, this was amazing. What can you sell me for $700? And what could you sell me for $7,000? That is not the way emotion and excitement work. Nobody asks for more. They ask for the champagne taste on the beer bottle budget. So if I can't get the champagne for the champagne taste, what can you get me for a beer bottle budget? How you're going to do this is through selling it first and then creating it later. Build it and they will come, so they said. But the reality is I don't want you to build it. I don't want you to build the system. I don't want you to build the e-course. I don't want you to build whatever it is. I want you to conceptualize it and talk to your ideal clients on what it is that they are going to buy. Now, I go further into ideal clients and everything else at this, but for 20 minutes, we're going to be going through this really, really fast. But the idea here is get them sold on the title. Think of this as a menu. All you need to do is create a really fancy title. All you need to do is write down a few ingredients. You don't need to show them how their whole recipe is going to work. You don't need to pre-prepare it before the restaurateur comes in. You just need them to be bought in on the concept. And it is a lot easier to build something when you go ahead and already have the money coming in, and then you build this. And I speak of this from personal experience. I never built my first sales training course until I had a paying client. And then I went ahead and built it. Because the wrong way to price is where people will go ahead and they say, okay, well, this is how much I want to make per hour. And here's the number of hours I want to produce this. I want to make $250 an hour. It's going to take me about 10 hours to do that type of work. So I'm just going to charge my client $2,500. But the problem with that is that that is only associating the amount of time that you're actually servicing the client and not the amount of time that it took you to build that network, to create those leads, to go out there and, update your website, update your blog, do all the other stuff as a business owner. You're essentially saying that that time that you've spent is invaluable, or is like not invaluable, but valueless. If you were to pay an employee for that, you would pay an employee for that. And if you are your only employee, you're telling your employee that you're going to be working for slave labor. That's not fair to you. So don't be looking at only the time that you are serving your clients as the time that's valuing your company. No company looks at it that way. The right way to price is, instead of looking at the number of hours that it's going to take you to accomplish this, ask yourself, if the client was to do this themselves, how long would it take them? How much time am I possibly saving them? And what is that amount of time worth to them? Jonathan in here tells me that he does accounting. He's a cloud-based accountant. Now, I love that, because I know for myself, if I had to do my own bookkeeping, if I had to do my own taxes, if I had to go through and scour all of the changes and amendments and addendums that the CRA has done for businesses and personal, it would take me literally days to get through all of that. And yet Jonathan is an expert, and he can go ahead and he could say, here's what I can do for you. Boom, 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 boom. It'll take him a couple hours. Maybe if he's really fast, it'd be like an hour. Should I be paying him for that hour? Or should I be paying him for the 10 hours that it would have saved me? Because the 10 hours that I would have taken to do the exact same thing that he's doing it in, I could be servicing new clients. I could be following up with my accounts receivable. I could be doing all sorts of different things. My time to my own company is worth money. And that's how we need to value ourselves. Because it is not up to you to tell your clients what the return on investment is. It is up to you to ask them the questions. And when we find out, how much time would this save you? What would you do with this time? How would you build into your own business in this? Now you can start to see how you can start to charge that premium service. Now you're starting to get why you can charge $1,000 for something you thought you were only charging $250 for. The other thing is that pricing too low actually loses you business. When people think that you're cheap, there's something that's called cognitive dissonance. You get what you pay for. And when somebody prices too low, we think that it's cheap, that it's disposable, that it's not as much value. I had a website producer, and they were producing websites in a week for $900. And I'm like, okay, great. Is it a template or something? They're like, no, we actually customize it. We build it. We just do it really fast. We do it really cheap. I'm like, stop doing that, because this is the problem that you're having. You're running into the same situation. Is your client honestly looking for the lowest price? Or are they looking for the lowest risk? That same website agency, I told them to slow down their sales process. Don't go from a meeting and say, we can do it for $900 and then get that $900 transaction, because all they're doing is they're feast and fanning. They go, they hunt, they kill, they eat. They think this is amazing. And then for the rest 3 weeks, they're going out there and they're trying to find the next hunt. We don't want to live that way. Instead, I said, slow it down by one meeting and everything will work. And in that one meeting, they turned something that would have been a $900 sale into a $9,000 sale. Now that is a worthwhile return on investment. And if we're not trying to move through our sales cycle so fast, we're throwing away money. The longer we wait to implement these types of changes, we're just throwing away money. We're thinking, I just need to get any money. I need to get any money. But be patient. Trust me, child. We will get you there. I can help you even further. I am happy. This is like honestly, I spent like 90 minutes giving this webinar. This was like the condensed down version, right? I hope you got what you need. You can go to my website, kimorlesky.com/connect. We're going to give you the website and a few other things. Why do we do this? Because if LinkedIn calls me their most influential sales leader, Zig Ziglar is mine. And he says you can have everything you want in life when you help enough people get what they want. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm just getting a chance, because of the way that that we are looking at this. I'm only looking at your comments right now. If you do have a question, feel free. I am going to put my website in here once more, because that is going to get you these slides. Yeah, thank you so much that I did get to stand with Oprah. Yes, thank you so much, Jonathan, Ivor, Jonathan, Scott, Nick, you guys, everyone, you are all so incredibly amazing. Thank you so much. I think I'm out for time. If you love this, please let the people at Toronto Job Shop know that this was a great session, that you want to see Toronto Jobs that you want to see more of my contents, because I go deep into sales. We help entrepreneurs just like you sell premium products for premium prices. Imagine getting exactly like that one marketing agency did, 10 times the amount of revenue that you possibly could get. I'm going to be hanging out in the networking room a little bit later. Feel free to also direct message me or check me out on LinkedIn. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.